Hello and welcome to Spotlight on Jackson County. Well, Pascagoula, you've got a new police chief. He's a fine man. He replaced a fine man. I've known this man for quite a while, and I've known his daddy for even longer. They've both been in law enforcement all of their lives. Welcome to the show, Chief Kenny Johnson.
Thank you, Doug.
I really want to congratulate you and tell us a little bit about how long you've been in law enforcement, Kenny.
I've been with City Pascagoula 18 years. Before that, I served a short time with Moss Point, and I was a reserve officer under my dad in Goche for about a year and a half, almost 2 years, before I was able to get a full-time position.
Well, your dad was Alan Johnson.
Alan Johnson, retired.
Alan's retired. He's doing well.
Doing fine. Enjoying
Good.
retirement.
Nice guy.
I think so.
Kosar is his son. I've known you for a while, too. You replaced Eddie Stewart, and you were deputy chief under Eddie for
Yes,
a while.
sir.
You're not planning any big sweeping changes in the department?
No big changes. As deputy chief, I had a lot of input in what's went on there the past couple of years. That was big thing of Eddie's is everything was a team effort. We discussed it amongst the command staff, and then we'd formulate plans and ideas, and then we would take it down to the next level of command and all the way back to the guys, and just take everybody's input, ideas, and try to come up with the best show possible. And we're real proud of what we've accomplished. And another thing, the city as a whole has really embraced the concept of succession planning, so that you don't have somebody just leave one day and somebody come in and take over and have to reinvent the wheel every time. That's been a good thing for us. And so we just succession plan all the way up through the ranks and prepare people to take the next level. Whoever's fortunate enough to be promoted, we have several people in line that are very capable of being promoted and ready to take on the job, and they know the direction the department's heading.
Well, good. Succession planning, that's really good. That helps maintain officer morale. It gives them, something to look forward to. It also involves them in the process. And I applaud you for basically the whole department's involved in this process from the top down.
Absolutely, to the extent possible. Certainly the command staff, and as the chief of police, ultimately the decision lies with you, and you have to try to make the right decision that's best for the city and the department. But I just, the importance of getting input from top to bottom, it does build morale, and it makes them feel like they're a part of it. They've had some say-so in it, and even with something we do that maybe not that popular, maybe not that enjoyable a task, such as some of our community policing efforts. We have some guys that just really love to get out and do that, and we have some that just rather be, kicking doors and taking names. But it's important that we get out and do that kind of thing. But they understand why. They've been involved in that process, and we've agreed as a team that this is how we're going to attack this particular job, and it just seems to really build morale throughout the department.
That's great. Now, you've got probably a lot of challenges facing any police department in the United States today. You got a drug problem out there.
Absolutely.
You got a crime problem out there. The economy's down. And people are going to have to commit more crimes just to make a living, which is not the way to do it, but I'm sure that's happening. Are there any great big challenges that you see out there, not just for Pascagoula, but for law enforcement in general today?
Well, you mentioned the drug problem, and Pascagoula is no different than any other city in the country. We certainly have drugs here. We're combating that from the street levels to specialized units within the department to our local countywide task force, and we're involved at the federal level. We have officers out at the federal drug task force. So we're putting a lot of resources and effort into the drug problem. The problem is addiction. Addiction, plagues this country, and it is so much of our crime can be traced back to addiction as a whole. So efforts have got to be made at that level to try and address the problem at the source, which is addiction. But we're very fortunate. We were able a couple of years ago to we restructured our rank system, and in restructuring our rank system, we were able to go from 30 patrolmen on the streets to 45, and stay within the same budget. So we're very proud of that. Those additional men and women on the streets have made an impact on crime in Pascagoula. We immediately saw our robberies going down, burglaries. It's decreased at all levels. We hadn't eliminated crime, and until we do, there'll always be a need for us.
Well, unfortunately, Kenny, I don't know if that's ever going to happen, but at least with men like you at the helm, we can probably reduce it even farther and make it even a better and safer place for people to.
Well, men like me don't do anything but support the men that are out there actually doing the job,
giving them the direction and
that's what we do.
Guidance and leadership that they need, and I'm glad you're going to be there for that. Now, if people out in the community see something, a lot of problem with meth these days. Gives this real crazy odor if they're cooking it.
Yes.
Encourage them, or do you encourage them, or would you encourage them? Hey, if I see something suspicious, pick up the phone, call the police department.
Make the phone calls. So many times, we're able to, go out and really make an impact on some criminals just off something doesn't look right over here. Pick up the phone, let us check it out. If it turns out to be nothing, that's okay. That's fine. If what you thought you saw was not what you saw, that's okay. I have well-trained men and women that can go out, they can look at that problem, and if it's not what it appeared to be, I can assure you that they will walk away from there, and the people they address there will be very happy. It won't be a problem. So we have to have those calls. We have to know exactly where things are going on and what looks suspicious and what doesn't look right. And that goes all the way into strange people coming by your house, wanting to do some work for you. Give us a call. We'll come out. We'll check them out for you. We'll let you know if they're a legit business person, if they are licensed to do business in the city of Pascagoula. And we'll check them from top to bottom, and if they are, we'll assure you that they are, and you can make a decision from there. And if they're not, we will have been able to get that person out of our neighborhoods, and hopefully nobody becomes a victim.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like a neighborhood watch. If people see something suspicious, it don't necessarily have to be drugs. It's just anything.
Anything. Anything.
Don't fear calling the police department and saying something's not right here.
Absolutely.
It could be almost anything.
Absolutely.
And I encourage people that if you see something that doesn't look right, just pick up the phone. You don't have to call 911. Just call the police department and go, hey, there's something not right here. Could you please send an officer out? Because, Kenny, you got more officers on the street now, but
absolutely,
the more eyes you have in the neighborhoods, the easier it is for law enforcement to do their job. And the more that people cooperate with the police department, the safer their neighborhoods are going to be.
Well, there's no, a lot of neat tools and ideas and things going on with law enforcement. But you can't replace officer presence, and a good neighborhood presence, a good watchful neighbors who are looking out throughout the neighborhood. That's as good as that is an officer presence. That's our eyes out there looking at that neighborhood, and that would deter the bad guys from coming to your neighborhood. Your neighborhood. Why do I want to take a chance on going to this neighborhood where I know that they're going to call the police if I'm out here looking suspicious or doing things I shouldn't do, when I go to this other neighborhood where they don't care? And criminals are going to take the easiest course, and they're going to, they're opportunists. So wherever the easiest opportunity lies, that's where they're going to go. That's why they're criminals. They don't want to work hard for what they have.
Yeah, well,
and what they do.
Years ago, it was a neighborhood concept, and everybody looked out for each other, and we kind of lost that for a while, and maybe it's coming back. It was like, would you please watch my house? I'll be out of town for a day or two. And sometimes people just see crime and they ignore it. Well, see crime and drive by it or walk by it or don't even call.
Or just aren't comfortable with calling. But you talk about the neighborhood watch. We're actually going to do a pilot program starting tonight. We're meeting with some residents out at the new Taylor Heights apartment community on Old Mobile. And it's a brand new place. It's a beautiful complex, and a lot of good folks out there that are seeing some things they're not comfortable with, and you know, we've been in contact with management and a lot of the residents, and they're interested in the neighborhood watch. So we're not going to quite do the traditional neighborhood watch program. Captain Tillman has a vision of more of like a resident council neighborhood watch, where each building in this complex will have a representative or council that will be the kind of watch out for the building, be the person that the other people in the building are reporting back to. They will funnel up to management and law enforcement. We intend to meet out there, so we're hoping that's going to be a big success. And if it is, we're going to kind of take that show on the road and offer to set this up in some of our other apartment communities, which you know, they share a lot of common areas. So it's real easy if you've known your neighbor across the street there for 20 years, what's right and wrong on his property or around his house. If there's a vehicle that's not normally there, you know their comings and goings a lot better. But when you're in an apartment, you got, you know, folks change over, you know, tenants move in and out, and they share common areas. So most of their area that's just theirs is inside the apartment. So these folks, it's important that they know each other and they communicate. And you know, I think it's going to be a big success there, and hopefully a big success in other areas in Pascagoula.
So if somebody in another apartment complex is interested in this concept, they can contact the
Absolutely.
Pascagoula Police
Give
Department.
us a call. And we're actually going to reach out for the other managers in the different apartment complexes throughout town and see if we can't get this going, you know, whether they're having a problem or not. We just really think it's a good idea. It benefits management. It's going to benefit the police, because we're going to have, again, more eyes in the area, which is, you know, I just consider that an officer presence almost.
Yes. We got about 30 seconds, Kenny. Anything you want to leave the citizens of Pascagoula with before we go?
Just very proud to have the opportunity to serve the city of Pascagoula and the police department as police chief. And you know, I just promise everybody to do the very best job that I can, and come in every day and make decisions that I think are the best for the city as a whole.
Well, Kenny, we're proud to have you.
Well,
WKFK congratulates you. I congratulate you. I've known you for a long time.
I
Appreciate you being there. I know you're going to do a good job. Thank you for watching this section, or this piece, or this part of Spotlight on Jackson County. We'll be right back with more. Don't go away. Welcome back to Spotlight on Jackson County. We're now talking to a very interesting individual. He is the president of the Mississippi Gulf Coast Gem and Mineral Society, and they're going to have a gem and mineral and jewelry show November the 13th, 14th, and 15th. Now, on the 13th and 14th, it's 10 to 6 p.m., and on the 15th, it's 10 to 5 p.m., and that's at the Civic Center building, the Jackson County Fairgrounds in Pascagoula. Free parking, free admission. What more could you ask for? Something very interesting that you can go to for free. Mr. Wright, welcome to Spotlight on Jackson County, and you brought a ton of very interesting things for us to see.
And thank you. It's my pleasure to be here and to show you a sampling of what we'll have at the show.
Well,
we have, for the kids, we have trilobites, kind of like an ancient roly-poly.
Trilobites. Now I'm going to hold this up over here so that people can see it. And it's kind of like an ancient roly-poly, and this occurs as a fossil. This is a fossil?
Right.
Yeah. Now, kids, you'll be able to see things like this at the show. So if you're studying this in your science classes, this is where you want to go. You want to go there to see these things in person.
And this is another one that's called Terra.
Okay, we got another one here.
That's the one the kids like the most.
I guess because it looks kind of like a video game character or something.
Yeah. And this one's a shrimp.
A shrimp.
Everybody on the coast ought to be able to.
Yeah, but that shrimp's going to be kind of hard on your teeth.
Yeah, that one's about 250 million years old. That's from the Jurassic period. Same time frame as the fish.
We got a fish. And
of course, we have a lot of shark's teeth. Wow. Kids will like those.
Yeah, now that is a beautiful shark's tooth.
That's in matrix. That's
right in here.
From Morocco, and the shrimp was from Lebanon. That's Morocco's in North Africa.
And
for the fishermen, there's a nice cricket.
Yeah. Except you would. It'd be
That's-
kind of hard to put that on your hook for bait, wouldn't it?
Probably work. And here's something else that people on the coast ought to be familiar with is a sand dollar.
A sand
That's
dollar.
petrified sand dollar. It's a fossil. That came from out in Wyoming.
Yeah, we got some more interesting things
And
here.
here's one from a coal mine. This one has been replaced with pyrite. Pyrite is kind of a metallic-like mineral. That's from a coal mine up in Indiana.
And this all around it is
Yeah.
actually coal.
The sand dollar originally that was there dissolved and it was replaced with pyrite, making the fossil.
Very interesting.
And here's minnows for the fishermen. This is a mass kill. This is from the Green River Formation out in Arizona.
We got lots of minnows here in this one.
Yeah, they probably a volcanic eruption covered these with ash, buried them below the oxygen zone, and they fossilized and petrified. This is also from the Jurassic period of about 225 million years ago.
So kids, if you're studying fossils in science, you need to come to this show so you can see these things firsthand. You probably can't see them anywhere else other than a museum.
And in the fossilization, we have other things that are pretty interesting. This is a opalized ammonite.
Opalized ammonite, and this is from?
And you move that around, you can see the fire change in it now, yeah.
When
And this is from Africa also. That's from Nigeria.
It's beautiful.
But this is ferns from Indiana, also from the coal mines up in Indiana.
Coal mines in Indiana. We got some ferns going on here.
Most people never are aware that we have flowers in stone.
No.
But we do.
It's pretty though.
Yeah. And this is a Suzuki chrysanthemum stone.
Now that's very interesting. You were
Yeah.
telling me about that before the show started.
Suzuki means water stone. Zu means water, and Suzuki is stone, water stone. These come from China, and they caught on. The Japanese started importing them from China, and this flower actually grows in the rock, and only they'll carve away enough to expose it. Sometimes they'll actually carve it three-dimensional, you know. This one I like the way it's carved. And they use these in the homes to relax. They're different sizes. This is a small one. Some of them get 2 or 3 foot tall. And the Japanese like to have these in their homes as a relaxing type thing to look at.
But they're sometimes shaped other than chrysanthemums.
Oh yeah, they may be like a butterfly. They can be shaped like stars, any number of patterns, but they're still called Suzuki stones.
Oh,
this just
okay.
happens to be a chrysanthemum Suzuki stone.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
How interesting.
That's
Very
really good.
interesting. Now you got some other things here.
Yeah. And over here we have the rhodochrosite, the red stone. Yeah.
Here we go. I'll hold this up.
That's rhodochrosite. That comes from Argentina. That's a stalactite or stalagmite. It occurs in a cave. It's just that as the mineral content of the water seeping down into the cave changes, the colors change and all. The black is a morganite, and the marcasite rather, and the pinks are different minerals in the water, and they come only from Argentina. So
this is a chance for people to see stones, fossils, gemstones from all over the world.
that's correct.
And you can see that in Jackson County, Mississippi. Where else could you go for such fun? And for free at that.
Yeah. We'll have 20 dealers there that have all a variety of stones and pearls and all. There'll be one of our dealers will have pearls, just bundles of pearls. These are actually pearls, Japanese pearls. You may find it interesting to know the pearls from Japan and all begin here in Mississippi.
How do they begin in Mississippi?
They mine the clam shells up on the Mississippi River, North Mississippi, North Louisiana, and Arkansas, and on up the Mississippi River, mainly in North Mississippi. And the clam shells, they turn them into small beads, and it's these small beads from the clam shells what they seed the pearl oysters with.
Ah, so these began life in Mississippi.
Right. They ship them to Japan by the bags full, and they use them for the seeds for the cultured pearls. The way to tell a pearl if it's real or plastic is to rub it on your teeth.
How does it?
If it feels like coarse grit sandpaper, it's a real pearl. If it's real slick and all, it's a man-made plastic type pearl.
Ah, okay, ladies. Remember that one. When your husband brings you some pearls, rub them on your teeth. And now you know how to tell the difference.
Yeah, and these are actually Mikimoto pearls, came from Hong Kong.
Mikimoto from Hong Kong.
Yeah.
And they've got a different color to them.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can compare the color.
That's because these have been worn.
Right.
You should wear pearls. They'll absorb your body oils and it makes them last longer. If you don't wear them, they'll dry out. So if you own a pearl necklace, be sure to wear it.
Well, I don't, but my wife
Well,
does.
your wife, or
And
whatever, the ladies out there
I
would
should
need to
probably
know that.
tell her to wear it more often. It'll
Right.
last a lot longer.
And they should be stored in an area where they don't dry out. This is the black pearls. This is from the warm waters of the South Pacific. They come from down the islands in the South Pacific, more like Indonesia and on out into the South Pacific. That's called the black pearls.
They're not really black.
No, they're not.
They're kind of a darkish, bluish color. They're
Kind
really
of a
pretty.
slate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Really pretty. Excellent. What else have we got here, Mr. Wright?
yeah. And these are dyed pearls.
Yeah, you were telling me about this before the show. This is actually not a necklace. These are just pearls.
This is the way they're sold at our show. You're on what they call bulk strings. They're just put on a string temporarily. Whereas the other necklaces that our members have strung have a knot between each pearl, so if the string breaks, you don't lose them all. You're only going to lose one, maybe at the most.
So you could come into the show and actually buy 5 or 6 of these pearls.
Oh, yeah, there'll be bundles of them there, and the dealers will sell you the whole string or 1 or 2 pearls or whatever you want, your heart desires, you know, and at a good price.
Well, that makes a difference.
Okay, these are freshwater pearls. Now these also, we have a lot of these are raised in North Mississippi and lakes up in North Mississippi and Tennessee and all. And these are different colored.
And I'll
Freshwater
put these up here to compare. These are different
Yeah.
colored
Yeah,
freshwater.
you'll notice they're not quite as bright and shiny as the pearls from over in the Orient.
Now, people in your club actually teach people how to string pearls and how
Yes.
to facet stones.
That's the whole purpose of our club. We teach stringing. Like this is a necklace my wife string. That's one of her necklaces she made. We teach wire wrapping. This is some opal. This is how we make the deals for opal. We actually teach you how to cab the opal. We take the raw opal like this, and then we carve these into what we call cabochons. And the club owns the machine to do this, and we have the instructors to teach you how to do it. And then we have instructors that teach you how to do the wire wrapping to make the jewelry.
Now, you'll be able to watch people actually do this at the show.
At the show, yes.
You'll be able to sit down and watch them do it.
This year we are very fortunate to have Mississippi never had a precious gemstone. We have a lot of semi-precious gemstone, and our club goes up to the local pits to find them. And we make cabochons and all. But 3 years ago, the Office of Geology, the Department of Environmental Quality, found opal in Mississippi, precious opal. So we now have a precious gemstone.
And we have an example of that.
Yeah, there's the rough.
Here's the rough, right here.
This is what it looked like when it's mined out of the ground. This came from Calhoun County up there.
Okay.
And this is one that's been worked. This has been polished. This was done by a member of the club in Jackson, Mississippi, the Mississippi Gem and Mineral Society. Oh, that's got pretty color in it.
Yes, it does.
And then a member of the Jackson Club turned this into a cabochon and wire wrapped it.
Beautiful.
That's Mississippi opal. See the color in it.
Yes, it's pretty.
Yep.
We got about 1 minute left, Mr.
Okay,
Wright.
well,
in our
this is
show.
just rubies. There will be rubies at the show, emeralds,
Emeralds.
aquamarines.
Christmas time's coming, gentlemen. I'm sure your wife would love something like this under
Just
the
all
Christmas
kinds.
tree.
For the gentlemen, we have the Bolo ties,
And ladies,
We'll
your
have-
husband would love that.
lapis lazuli from Afghanistan.
And more. Beautiful things.
Yeah, all
Great
kinds of-
Christmas time ideas here.
Come on out and enjoy the show. It's I think they'll really enjoy it. We usually get about 3,000 to 4,000 people come through. It's never crowded. The show is very open. We could accommodate way more dealers than we do, but we are up in age. That'd be a lot of work for nothing. So, but we have 20 dealers and a good variety of stuff. So.
Well, I'm so glad you came in and you brought some of these very interesting things. And I learned that Mississippi has a precious gemstone.
Yeah, that's thanks to the Office of Geology. They own the opal. They just let us borrow it for the show.
Oh, okay.
First time on the coast that we were able to see this.
Great. And science classes, children interested in fossils, people interested in gemstones, people interested in jewelry and how to make it, faceting stones. Anything you want is available for free. A lot of parking, free admission, November the 13th, 14th, and 15th. On the 13th and 14th, that's 10 to 6 p.m. at the Jackson County Civic Center building, at the Jackson County Fairgrounds, and on the 15th, it's 10 until 5. You need to come see this, folks. And Christmas is coming, lots of great gift ideas, an educational experience. Don't miss it. Come out and see this show. Thank you.